Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pope.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Pope. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First Contact
the truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
Good morning, Earthlings. We've made it to the end of the week. Made it to the end of the week. So September so far has been kind of calm. However, there was the big earthquake and the tsunamis that hit. So through a monkey wrench and things, we want to send our prayers out to all of those people in Chile and all of the regions affected by the earthquake, that they might be able to regather their lives and be able to move forward. You know, sudden changes come and we need to be ready for them. We don't know what's going to happen or how, but, you know, we can be prepared by being prepared mentally, spiritually. Okay? All right, so here we're at today. We are on the 18th of September 2015. We could see that our sun sign, our moon sign, is making a transition. Currently, we're still in Scorpio. So at this point in time, you understand what the whole Scorpio symbol is. It's the tarot card of death. And the moon sign is going to be transitioning to the next one, which is Sagittarius. However, it's not going to be there till later this evening, 10:31 p.m. So the course of the day, we're going to be dealing with this energy right here. Death, emotions, feelings, water. Okay? The ideas of water, you know how you can go into the water and you got the shallow water and then you have the deep end of the pool? This is the deep end of the pool. And as you go deeper into the depths, there's less light, therefore it's more dark. And so when you get down there into the darkness, you're dealing with things that you aren't normally dealing with when you're in the other areas. So the emotions being experienced down there might be a little bit more intense, because being down in that place, down in that lower dark area, there's a tendency to feel and experience things that have been hidden away. And so when things are hidden away in the depths and they're brought to the surface, the emotions are affected and there is a death of the emotions. This is all about the emotions, the death card. It's about water. Okay? Our sun sign, as you know, is the Hermit, or Virgo. The earth sign, so earth and water. And that's going to change later as we get into the evening. Let me show you what the card is for Sagittarius coming up. I know that you've seen this one before. It is the tarot card of Temperance. And Temperance is... where's the card? Seems to be missing from the deck. Maybe there's no Temperance here today. There it is. Temperance is coming up, Sagittarius. Okay, this one will come up at 10:31 p.m. is when this aspect takes place. And Sagittarius is a fire sign, so we're going to be going from water to fire. However, some of the aspects that we're dealing with through the course of today, we've already gone through the wounded healer, and that has been activated. That was just shy of 1 a.m. on Pacific time. So the wounded healer, that part of ourself that needs healing, every one of us has within us something buried deep. And when there's something that's buried deep, we need to find a way to heal it. So when we're able to understand what's going on in the depths by bringing it up, which is where the Scorpio comes in, because we're going down into the depths and we're finding things that are there, some of those things might need to be healed. And that's what the healing is. That's what the Chiron is. Okay, the wounded healer. Now, as we get into the afternoon, the sun and the moon are going to be in a sextile. So that means that These two here are going to have a nice, good, positive exchange between them, between the hermit, which is teaching patience and timing, and between death, which is teaching us how to process the emotions that are deep within us, allowing them to process. Because this card, death, it's about seed. The whole idea is a seed that ends up growing into something else, but in order for it to become a flower, the seed has to die. So it's a process of transformation that takes place, and we all go through transformation every day, but it's in the emotional body. In the emotional body, tears, that's a good, way in which one expresses what's going on, because there's pain and there's emotions coming up. And what are tears? Water. So there's water coming up from the depths that we are releasing. And then we feel good after we go through a good cry, don't we? Because we release that energy, we release that water, and then everything's okay. Here at 2:49 p.m., we have a lesson we need to be dealing with between the moon sign Scorpio and the planet Mars, which is the planet that actually works well with Scorpio, except this time it's squaring off in a lesson. Okay? A lesson about the emotions. With the sun is Virgo. The sun wants to teach patience. Virgo wants to teach patience and timing. But Scorpio is an emotional thing. So you've got this earthly practical thing that's going on with the hermit, but you've got this emotional thing going on with the death, with Scorpio. And so these two things are at odds, and there's a lesson that has to be learned on how these two things work together. 2:49 p.m., and that's the time also when the moon goes void, of course, which means it enters the last aspect. I'll show you right here. It enters the last aspect of Scorpio. So here we go right here, and by the time we get to this afternoon, it's going to be moving into Sagittarius, but in that little phase from here where we see the moon, this is where it ends. As we go forward here, void, of course, a period, that kind of voided out period where we're in between signs, we're in between understanding what they are trying to teach us. There's a lesson, so be ready for the lesson this afternoon. Just keep open to understanding it. The moon sign moves into Sagittarius tonight, 10:31 p.m. And then shortly after that, right next to each other in a conjunction, we have the moon. Sagittarius, fire, the truth bringer, is going to be in a conjunction with Saturn. Saturn's all about discipline. And conjunction means they're right next to each other. Okay? So right here, they're right next to each other. But not only are they going to be next to each other, they're going to be next to each other in the same house. And so imagine when you have two people next to each other in a house, what can they do? They can talk to each other. So here you have Saturn, which is teaching about focus, discipline. Discipline in the area of Sagittarius, in the truthfulness we bring to the world, in the truthfulness we bring to ourselves. And it's having a communication with the moon, our unconscious aspect, which wants to express this truthfulness, this fire. So that's what's going on later tonight, okay? So those are the aspects for today. Let's take a look at the Jewish calendar to see where we're at. Today is 5 Tishri, the 5th day of Tishri. If we go up here, we could see the year is 5776. 5776. It's different than our year. It just counts on, hadn't had a stop like ours did and change over. Daily thought for today, like yesterday, is called Shofar. There are things that are important to us, so we speak about them. There are things so important to us that the words flow out in a burst of emotion, rich words, expressive and vibrant. And then there are things that shake us to the core, things that do not care for the mind's permission or for the right words, for the mind cannot fathom them. The most poignant words cannot contain them, things that can only break out in a cry, in a scream, and then in silence. This is the sound of the shofar, the very core of our souls crying, Father, Father. And with that, since we are between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we're going to play the shofar today. So here we go. Okay, very good, very good. Now, that link is available to the Shofar so that you can listen to it over the course of the weekend if you want to continue on. The whole idea is every day between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur to remind yourself of that promise, because there's a promise behind there, a promise that if we are faithful, things will be okay. Trusting in the higher power, the Spirit, God. Now, over on the Mayan Oracle today, we have a 12-tone day, which is right here. So we're getting ready to get to the end of this wave spell. The 12-tone is called the crystal tone. It's like a gathering for moving on to the next phase. It's called the crystal tone of cooperation. So we have the crystal tone, and we have the star, which is shining beauty and elegance, that which is inside of us. Our guide for today is the sun, which is the enlightenment that we receive. Enlightenment, light from the sun. Light energizes us. It energizes our cells, our body. And as we do that, we become enlightened and we shine. We actually fill with light and we shine bright like a star. The hidden power down here is Skywalker, our ability to explore space. Our like-minded energy is the monkey. Monkey plays, helps us see through illusion. I like to think of the monkey as, you remember the movie The Lion King? And you had Rafiki was the monkey. What color is the monkey? Blue. What color is this symbol here, the monkey? Blue. It's called the blue monkey. Some synchronicity is going on there between the Lion King and what's going on here. So blue monkey, the monkey there was a shaman. It taught things, taught lessons. So this is our like-minded energy today, that playfulness within ourselves. And our challenge today is to be able to look into the mirror at our own reflection and see the endlessness that exists. So what we see, there's more to it as we learn to see. We're not looking into the physical, we're looking past the physical. And that's the whole idea. Current moon phase is a waxing moon, which means we're moving up towards the full moon. 24% of the way there. Over at space weather, the solar wind is 437.9 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index currently at a 3, which is in the quiet range. The large coronal hole that was facing the Earth is now past, so things should be subsiding to that degree. M-class flare possibility is hanging at 25%. X-class is 5. Geomagnetic activity in the mid-latitudes, it's jumping from 20 to 25, and in the high latitudes it's increasing as well, from 25 to 30, or even more, 25 on up to 35. And up in the sky tonight, we have, if I can scroll down to, here we go, Friday, September 18th, as twilight fades, look low in the southwest for Saturn, close to the waxing crescent moon as shown here to the left, and Antares, or other stars of Upper Scorpius. Okay, and we got a nice good map to look at it. So we got the moon, and when you look at the moon, there's Saturn. Okay, so when you wonder what that is, right by the moon, almost like the lower tip, Saturn. And then here, Scorpio, the moon is in Scorpio. You could see it's right there. Okay, so if we were to place the grid of the houses of astrology over this, we could see how they match up, just like that wheel I showed you. Okay. All right, and there you have it. That is our cosmic weather for today. So now you know what kind of energy we're dealing with. UFO news is up next. Let's get to it.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
Radio, thank you very much, Dirk. So today, first story is a story. Now this may or may not be a real thing. This could just be a rock. But this rock that was found looks like a huge disc, as you can see. So the question is this disc something that is man-made? Was this made somewhere else? Is this something more than just a disc? Don't know. We got the information here. This was found in Volgograd, Russia, September 9th. Okay, so if you have any ideas what this might be, you can see it being pulled out of the area here. Now, moving on to the next story, what we have here is a UFO caught close up over the oceans in Yucatan, Mexico, September 12th. Here we see the craft, something coming out of the bottom here. See what looks like, some fuzzy lines, which looks like there's some obvious movement going on here. It's not just stationary. And this thing is right here, and just enlarged, you can see it better, but here's where it is right here. A UFO researcher in Mexico caught his first UFO, and its detail is one of the best I've seen this year. We can see that it is half disk with a larger lower area. At the bottom there's a clear white distortion which looks like it is caused by the propulsion of the craft mixed with UFO exiting the water and the water dripping off of it. This was caught over the ocean because it came from the water. It is a well-known fact that aliens have bases not below the ocean but several kilometers below the floor of the ocean. And notice the dark color bronze, extraordinary. Now, amateur with 20 years as a student of the phenomena, but it was not until Friday that he caught his UFO sighting for the first time. Jorge Moreno. A new report from the presence of an identified flying object came to me from the port of Progreso. Say strange lights appeared 2 days ago. The odd thing is that for the same dates, but at least this year there was also a sighting allowing spectacle on possible motive for which given in the same place and the date, but with a different year. According to the information by Manuel Loria Alejos, UFO enthusiast for over 20 years, he said that he went to the port to spend the weekend with at his family home. For nearly 2 decades, I've been reading everything about UFOs, but until this day, I've never seen one until Friday, when in the company of my dad, my wife, my brothers, and my children, we could see a strange light on the horizon. But there was not any light because I have seen many documentaries, and I know when it comes to reflections, aircraft or other logical phenomena to which can be attributed an identified label. It was a strong blue light which was moving in a straight line and then making zigzag movements. I was the first to discover it while we were on the beach near Yucatan. I immediately called my family to see him because I had a feeling it was not a normal light, which we found moments later. It started making faster movements until after 2 minutes it was up to disappear completely. Yes, at an even greater speed. All right, so it's the location of where it was. And all we have is this picture, which is a really awesome picture. So good job on capturing that. Now the next story here, crater Jansen is a dome alien city with a hole blown through on our moon. So according to this image here, it's thought that this is a dome, and it's got a hole in the dome. It says, guys, you won't believe, but I found a black dome over a crater on our moon. The dome looks like it's damaged because there is a large circular white hole in the upper left of it. The dome is black to block out the sunlight and radiation. Remember how the UFO reports of aliens with dark eyes, which are really eyelids that pull back to reveal their real eyes? Well, this was created by one of those species. The hole doesn't look like it was there, but its inner line of the hole looks torn apart. Maybe it was an attack, but most likely it was abandoned long ago, and looters had to blow a large hole for their ship to fit through. Also notice that this dome is in the middle of all NASA landing sites. Now you know why NASA wanted to go there. Alien tech. All right. Next, here we have the sun. An object that looks like it's shooting something into the sun. You might say it's a glitch, but it looks a little bit more than just a glitch to me. This happened on the 16th of September. Muhausen74 of YouTube keeps a close eye on the NASA SOHO photos. He has been doing so for years and is one of the top researchers on the subject. He caught this UFO near the sun with a powerful beam coming from the UFO. Is it taking energy from the sun, recharging itself, or is this a tractor beam to try to rescue a lost ship? So there's a great activity, different types of UFOs orbiting the sun. For more information, please visit UFO blogspot.com. Okay? So pretty interesting. We know stuff's going on by the sun, and yet another example of something taking place. The story is called the UFO Economy. Dark journalist's new interview with former Assistant Housing Secretary Catherine Austin Fitts on UFO secrecy in the economy. America 2020, will it be creative freedom or mechanized tyranny? You've never heard an interview with Catherine Austin Fitts like this before in the special extended Dark Journalist Exposed. Dark Journalist joined Dark Journalist as he welcomes back former Assistant Housing Secretary and financial expert Catherine Austin Fitts for her 6th appearance on the show in what will be remembered as the most amazing, insightful, gripping, stunning, and controversial Dark Journalist episode on record. Catherine reveals that her deep research has shown that America is now at a major crossroads and have two choices for the country that we will become by the year 2020, creative freedom or mechanized tyranny. There is no third way. The ultimate Catherine interview. All right, so she gets into here. UFOs are talk. Catherine, Dark Journalists, deeply investigate the untouchable subject of advanced UFO technology and surmise that whoever is operating that technology has a major role in controlling the power structures on planet Earth today. By developing the secret space program, these covert groups have diverted trillions of missing dollars from the American economy to create a UFO economy via the black budget and are creating a huge breakaway infrastructure in space. But why? What is really happening in our solar systems, and why has this paranoid secrecy become a way of life for the national security deep state? So here's got the interview. Check it out. 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 18 seconds. I think you'll really enjoy that. Listen to it over the weekend. And one last story here, and this is an old story. The movie Captured will tell the Betty and Barney Hill abduction story. Gotham principal producers of Maze Runner, Scorch Trials will team up with Bryce Zabel and Jackie Zabel via their stellar productions to produce alien abduction story Captured. The project is based on the story of Betty and Barney Hill, an interracial couple from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, who said they were captured by a UFO September 19, 1961. The Hills, a black postal clerk and a white social worker, claimed that they had been studied by extraterrestrials and then returned to Earth with missing memories that were later retrieved under hypnosis. Bryce Zabel, creator of the NBC alien-themed series Dark Skies, will write the script. The story is based on the 2007 nonfiction book Captured, the Betty and Barney Hill UFO Experience, the true story of the world's first documented alien abduction by nuclear physicist Stanton Friedman and Betty Hill's niece Kathleen Martin. Producers plan to make the film in a context of both Cold War paranoia and the country's struggle over race relations. It's a true story that explores the birth of modern UFO lore through the eyes of the first Americans to report that they were kidnapped by aliens, said Eric Robertson, who will also produce the film on behalf of Gotham. This film is an exciting story that is an extremely timely and ripe for adaptation today as it was 54 years ago when the incident occurred. Okay, so very good. So that's our UFO news for today. I'll be back, and we shall continue on with more news and information. In the meantime, it's time to wake up.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw a UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth.
All right. Wake up. So, why is it important for us to be awake? It's important because there's a lot of activities taking place in the world that we need to be aware of. You and I both know lots of people who are sleepwalking through this world, completely unaware of what's going on around them. And then when something happens, they're just surprised, as if what's happening was never foretold. Yet, the information is here, and we've been presenting this information throughout the week. You find it on your own. You know it exists. It's like for 9/11. We could find all the information about 9/11. It exists. The research that shows, without a shadow of a doubt, how these buildings came down and what happened. But unless one is willing to look, they're not going to find it. And in this day and age, school children aren't being taught about that event. It's past history. They don't need to know about it, so they're not aware. And people forget, and they don't know. And yet these events are all part of our history that have changed life. And if we don't pay attention, then we're going to be the ones who are going to be in trouble. Fortunately, we are all paying attention here, and we're looking at all of the different events that are taking place. Remember, everything that is out there, it's all energy, okay? But all of this events in the world and all this news and all this stuff, they're dots. Our objective is to connect the dots. That's what intelligence does. This is what General Major Stubblebine, who revamped and revitalized the intelligence program for the military, this is how he describes intelligence. Most people don't know that the information is a dot. They just see it as what it is, and that's it. But if you look at it as a dot and you connect the dots like we've been doing, we start to see a pattern. Now, I'm going to show you this right now because in regards to connecting the dots, over the course of this week, I've been talking about some of the things that Obama, and I probably should stop calling him Obama. I should probably refer to him as who he really is, Barry Soetoro. I often refer to him as the Antichrist. Let me show you some reasons recently why I think that what he is doing is completely dangerous. These are dots to connect. Okay? I call this Obama Nation dots to connect. So one, and these are just some of the things, but we know one of them is in 2013, the National Defense Authorization Act was signed by Obama on New Year's Eve. While people were out partying and not paying attention, this was signed by Obama. National Defense Authorization Act grants the government to indefinitely detain somebody without trial. It also has an aspect of it that makes legal propaganda against the people. In other words, they can lie to the people. Okay? They've made that legal. Second thing that Obama's done since he's been in there is there's been a huge racial divide. Nobody can deny that. People will, but there's been a huge racial divide. We've seen over the years how many times has there been an incident where there has been somebody who has done something seemed to be illegal, had police altercations, and yet Obama would side with them. These were his sons. If he had a son, it would be like one of these. Yet all of the ones he were describing as his potential sons were doing things that were a bit shady. So what is he telling us? That his family is shady? He's shady? We already know that. Another thing is all the numerous attempts he's had to take away our Second Amendment rights. And in the process of this, after the first event happened, he promised, or more like threatened, that there would be more attacks until these guns were removed from citizens. And he said it in a way that people didn't think he was threatening or promising. He's just making a statement. But it sounded like a threat to me. It sounded like a promise. And since then, we certainly have many things that have occurred. And a number of these things that we're finding are false flags. You can go and you can find out how in Sandy Hook, those children didn't die there. And they're discovering that the children aren't dead. As a matter of fact, one of the girls that was supposed to have died there, she was on loan from another set of parents because their daughter used to go to the school at Sandy Hook. So they kind of loaned their daughter out. She wasn't there anymore, loaned her daughter out to be used in this particular agenda by this other family who's claiming that this was their daughter and she was lost in this terrible event. However, when there was the Super Bowl and they had that group there singing, guess who happened to be part of that choir? Same little girl who was supposed to have died in Newtown, Connecticut, in Sandy Hook. Lawyers are finding this out. We're not going to hear about this in the mainstream news because out of sight, out of mind. But there's something that certainly occurred during his time. We've also had Obama legalize gay marriage. I don't know what you think about gay marriage or what have you. I know that there is a book called the Bible that here on Earth we follow. We've been told that this book is important and that we should follow it. And what we see in there is God doesn't seem to be so thrilled with the idea of gay marriage, the gay thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're misunderstanding the story. But nonetheless, Obama took it upon himself to decide that what he had to put in place was more important than what God had to say. And then we all saw as he painted the White House rainbow gay with the floodlights. Now we've got the executive order that he signed on Tuesday to do behavioral studies on the public in order to advance initiatives. The story I read you the other day about the Muslim clockmaker boy who made this object that kind of looked like a bomb. He's been invited to the White House where other children who have done lesser things like having a vegetable look like a gun have been kicked out of school and suspended and all these other things. None of them are getting invited to the White House. And last, what I read yesterday was he's invited opponents of the Pope to meet the Pope there at the White House. Okay? These are some of the things. I wanted you to see this list. Now, this list could continue to grow. And one day I was sitting down and I was writing, and I think I came up with 19 things off the top of my head that associate Obama with the Antichrist. When we see these things going on, these are things. What is an Antichrist? Well, we're told that we need to understand and listen to Jesus Christ. Someone who is against Jesus Christ would be Antichrist. Obama's not for Christ. He doesn't stand for Christ. He's Antichrist. He's opposite. And the things that he has been putting in place are not the things that are in the Bible that God says we should do. He's doing the opposite. So again, as I said yesterday, we could either follow God's path, which is what God would like us to do, but we also have free will to do what we want to do. And Obama wants us to follow his path because he thinks that he's smarter than God. Nope, Obama's not smarter than God. He's just very deceitful, and he's able to fool the majority of the public, but not everyone. Not everyone. So, all this in mind, I wanted you to see that because these next couple articles are going to speak to this issue. First one here is a book that I found available online. It's called Beyond Collapse, Surviving and Rebuilding Civilization. Because with everything that's going on, what we've heard about with the month of September, there could be some things that we need to really pay attention to. And you can download this. It's a free book. It says free edition. And perhaps this might be something that you'll gain some benefit from. I just wanted to bring that up because if there is some reality to what's going on, if the stock market's going to take a dump, if there are still some events of the 23rd or the 24th that we need to be aware of, if there's some more strange executive orders, let's say there's a civil war, we see the racial divide that continues to grow. There could be any number of things. Never hurts to have more information. Okay? Never hurts. Now, here's an article, 10 presidents and politicians who told us that a secret government controls the world and what they said. The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we've never heard of. Edward Bernays, Propaganda, 1928. Note that Bernays' book Propaganda begins with the above quote. Okay? Edward Bernays, father of public relations here in the United States. If somebody told you 10 years ago that there existed some sort of secret group or secret government pulling the strings behind the scenes of government policy, international law, various global rules, regulations, and more, they would have called you a conspiracy theorist. Today, things have changed largely as a result of information leaked by Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, and various other whistleblowers and activists in recent years. Their bravery has shed light on the world of secrecy that has been blinding the masses since its inception. I've mentioned that before. I mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. Did you know that the U.S. government classifies more than 500 million pages of documents each year? 500 million. That's a lot of pages. Did you know that the United States has a history of government agencies existing in secret? For example, the National Security Agency, NSA, was founded in 1952, but its existence was hidden until the mid-60s. Even more secret is the National Reconnaissance Office, founded in 1960 but remained completely secret for 30 years. Then we have the entire black budget world, a world dominated by secrecy that was officially revealed by Edward Snowden a couple of years ago. This deals with what are known as special access programs. Okay, so a lot more to the article, as you can see. Names are mentioned, what presidents said. 34th President Dwight Eisenhower in his farewell address to the nation. In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the dangerous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. Only an alert and knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial military machinery. Okay, if we look at here, Senator William Jenner, 1954. Today, the path to total dictatorship in the U.S. can be laid by strictly legal means. We have a well-organized political action group in this country determined to destroy our Constitution and establish a one-party state. It operates secretly, continuously to transform our government. The ruthless power elite is the disease of our century. This group is answerable neither to the President, the Congress, nor the courts. It is practically irremovable. Okay, you can go on, and there's more to it. You get the idea. You already understand that there's a secret government behind the scenes. You already understand that there have been warnings from presidents over the years. But what has happened? People have not paid attention. They haven't woken up to understanding what's going on. Therefore, people are subject to the same things of how would that happen? Who's doing this? Why would they do that? Because people are not paying attention to the power elite that is running things. That is why, as you're watching these debates and watching this political season that's taking place and will continue to take place, you could see the struggle because there's the powers that be. They have their people they want. They want Jeb Bush. They want Carly Fiorina. These two folks are the ones that the establishment wants. Why? Because they probably figure they're the ones who will play ball. You could see that they're scared of Donald Trump because Donald Trump doesn't need to be bought off like all of them. It'd be interesting to see how it plays. I was reading some stuff. I have to do some investigation, but I was reading an article that was alluding to Carly Fiorina being connected to Satanism, that she was a Satanist, and there was a whole article describing that. And I certainly want to look more through that information, but maybe you might take a look as well and see what you can find. Do some Googling on it, see what you can find out, and maybe we can all learn together. Because if that's the case, it just fits right in that the elitists, the global elites, the people behind the scenes, look who they want to put in power. These are the people that they support, the ones that are tearing the country apart or will continue to. George Bush the first, George Bush the second, both did a great job setting up systems that would tear the country apart. Now, this next article over here, we're going to take a look at real quick. Infiltrating the Black Lives Matter Cult. It is wrong to think of the Black Lives Matter movement as merely a movement, a racial insurgency that embraces violent acts on police and white Americans. It is much more. It's a Marxist, anti-American revolutionary cult whose members aim to unleash a reign of terror on American society. It is religious in limited sense that the late anti-PC intellectual Christopher Hitchens used that adjective to describe the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. After visiting barren, Stalinist North Korea, where people eat grass clippings and tree bark to survive, Hitchens remarked that it was the most religious state I've ever been to. But North Korea doesn't embrace a religion in that sense. We are, in the civilized world, use the word, at risk of oversimplifying the politics and culture of the hermetically sealed, oversized ruling gulag by Kim Jong-un. The country's religion is socialism. Okay, the Black Lives Matter cult is animated by hatred of normal American values. Its members idolize convicted, unrepented black militants and cop killers. Asa Shaka, Mumia Jubar, Abu Jamar have declared war on law enforcement, while its members openly call for police officers to be assassinated. Its leaders, wishing to be more respectable before the TV cameras, downplay the insurgency rhetoric whenever a member kills a cop. Okay, I'm going to leave this. You can see there's a big, long article. Look, we're hearing all about Black Lives Matter. If they have something to say, they're going about it in the wrong way because all they seem to be is a hate group. Let me ask you this, because we've all seen them marching through the streets, talking about killing police, talking about, murdering citizens, killing whitey. Let me ask you this. Do you think if there was a group like the KKK that started marching through the streets, do you think that would be tolerated? Not at all. You think if there was any group of whites or let's say Hispanics or Asians that were marching through the streets and were calling for people to be killed, do you think that that would be tolerated? No. So why are we tolerating this group? Because we have a black president, half black, who hates Americans, hates white people, hates America, and supports anyone that wants to tear it apart. And that's what this group is. And look what it's connected to. It's connected to all the bad things. So add this into the mix. We're connecting the dots here. Now here's one more dot to connect into the mix. ISIS leader admits being funded by the U.S. What a surprise. Who could have saw that coming? Oh yeah, we did, because we've been talking about this for some time. A few months after, in early 2015, Yusuf al-Salafi, a man believed to be Pakistani commander of Islamic State, confessed during investigations that he had been receiving money through the United States. A few months after al-Safari revealed the funding he was receiving was routed through the United States, Michael Flynn, a former director of Obama's Defense Intelligence Agency, said he warned the Obama administration 3 years ago that the groups are now funding in Syria were actually Islamic jihadists. Now a group of 50 intelligence analysts working out of the U.S. Military Central Command have complained that their reports on Islamic State and the Syrian branch of al-Qaeda were being incorrectly changed by senior officials. Okay? So, plenty more to the article. You get the point? You're connecting the dots, right? And then, of course, let's also remember that if you go online and you Google ISIS HQ public, you will come to the website of ISIS. Now, this isn't a website that's in another country. This isn't an organization who has headquarters in another country. They have offices in other countries. This is an organization, an intelligence organization that works with the Department of Defense. It works in Afghanistan and Iraq and all the places where we hear ISIS is. They have a branch there. But their headquarters of ISIS is in Washington, D.C. in the Ronald Reagan building. Okay, so the American people are being fooled yet again. Propaganda is being used upon them, and the terrorists are the ones who are given credence to go do what they want to do. So, with all of these things going on, you now see why there's a need to pay attention, to be awake. because those that are involved with the government and running people's lives are trying to control them, reduce them to cattle, perhaps reduce the population, basically do all kind of bad stuff. We got to stop that. And we can only stop it by going inside. You know, I was talking to someone the other day and they kept telling me how there's nothing they can do about these things. And I told them, yes, you can. Because to say you can't do anything puts you in a place of being a victim. And this person's not a victim, but they kept saying, I can't. There's nothing I can do about it. Yes, there is. If we read through the books of prophecy, the spiritual books, many of them, they tell us how to be strong. We're told specifically in the book of Revelation that there is a battle going on that is not a physical but a spiritual. We're told how to do all of the things we need to protect ourselves and change the world, but we're not applying them, and that's the problem. And then people make excuses why they're not applying them. And then pretty soon it becomes easier to apply the rules of man than it does to apply the rules of God. And that's why we're in this problem. And when we have this continued support of those who are doing things like the administration and the various agencies that are doing all of this negative, it doesn't help the cause at all. Okay? So we have to fix that. And the way we fix this is through our energy, through changing our energy. Now, the meditations we do, yesterday we did one to expand our energy field, to set up our shields. Remember, shields on? You literally can bring your shields up because it's all mental. Remember? First principle, right here. We live in a mental universe, the principle of mentalism. By this principle of mentalism, we are reminded that it's a mental universe. Therefore, as a mental universe, where the smallest part corresponds to the largest part, we here, in our aspect of it, have the ability to make an adjustment by mentally adjusting how we think about a situation, changing the vibration polarity from one pole to the next, changing the rhythm that we are taking and moving forward using the principles. If we do that, that's what we need to be doing. Okay? Here's an article deals with meditation. This is from In 5D, What Happens in Meditations After Kundalini and the Third Eye Activation by Isabella Green. A human being is part of a whole called by us the universe. A part limited in sense, time, and space. We experience ourselves, our thoughts, and feelings as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of our consciousness. This delusion is a prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to the affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of understanding and compassion, to embrace all living creatures in the whole of nature and its beauty. Albert Einstein. Many forms of meditations are offered these days, all targeting towards achieving the same exact thing, connecting to Source and to our true selves. I've been meditating steadily for about 5 years now, experimenting with different ways and styles. About a year ago, through the teachings of one of the great present-day masters, I learned a specific pineal gland and kundalini activation technique that took my whole meditation experience to an entirely different level. Since I do my meditations around 3:30 a.m., and after a few months into my body and spirit started waking me up without an alarm, all excited to go for it. I sit for about an hour, 1 to 5 hours, and go into lucid dreaming state for a while afterwards. Later I get up around 8 a.m., I start my day. I sit up for mid-sleep meditation. I use a mind-fold eye mask so that the eyes receive no light of any sort. I also make sure that my computer, cell phone, all electronics that have wired signals or wireless signals are powered off and unplugged every night before I go to bed. I never regret being up in the middle of the night to do this, nor do I get supercharged during these meditations. Not only do I get supercharged during these meditations, I also feel rejuvenated and cleared mentally, physically, emotionally, which greatly supports efforts of manifesting constant flow of miracles and easy, breezy, happy days. Another side effect of this practice is that all of the senses are amplified. It's like getting your whole windshield washed and the volume turned up and every amazing thing around you. Never have I felt nor seen the beauty like I do now. Never have I experienced music the way I do. Never have I tasted food, smelled flowers, or felt sunlight. So, we've got a lot more to this article. I'm going to leave this to you to read. It says at the very end, from where I presently stand, I invite you to seek out the teachings on the pineal gland and kundalini activation. I invite you to deepen your meditation practice and to work towards connecting the dots for yourself on a whole different level. There are many great teachers offering powerful techniques. Find the ones who resonate with you. Once you've learned the technique, the rest is just intent and practice. Your spirit will support you in every step of the way. When you get there, your life will never be the same. All right, so very good. So read through the rest of the article. I think you will like what you find there. All right, let's listen to this message here. We're going to be a little bit longer than normal today, but no problem whatsoever, because this is important. This is a message from Salusa. Let's hear what Salusa has to say today.
Salusa.
September 18th, 2015, by Mike Quincy.
Salusa.
You are getting proof of the changes that are in progress, and although you have had your disappointments in the past, many of you are now feeling the benefits of them. By comparison, you should now be able to feel the different energies that are around you that have been substantially lifted up. It has been a slow but positive build-up over the last few years, which is just about to peak, bringing with it a noticeable upliftment. The overall effect will be one that awakens more people to the truth, so that they can break away from the influence of the dark ones. Dear ones, the light has achieved a victory over them, and no longer can they enslave the human race. Changes will come quite quickly that will lead towards the establishment of a new era, when freedom will be restored and a quantum leap forward taken to introduce those benefits that have been denied you. It is all prepared and will be given to you as soon as circumstances permit. Have patience, as some changes are monumental, and time has to be allowed for them to be introduced. The most important matter at present is to remove the dark ones and to put a stop to their activities that deliberately interfere with your future. One day when you are looking back, you will realize that the lives you have had in duality have raised your level of consciousness in a profound way. You may have been severely tested in the fires of life, but you have risen again like the phoenix. You are on the way to becoming the great being that you were when you started your journey eons of time ago. It has been tough, and even now some souls are still clearing old karma as they complete their journey home. Know that every one of you volunteered for the experience, so there should be no recriminations against the hierarchy. They have in fact stood by you at all times, and have ensured that you were given every opportunity for success. You are loved beyond measure and are far greater than you could possibly imagine at present. So hold your heads up high and see out the last of the old energies with thanks for their place in your evolution. As we have mentioned recently, as souls that have reached an advanced point of understanding, you can do much work in helping those who are just awakening to the truth. They will hear of changes that are taking place, and some will be frightened by the prospect of things being taken away that are familiar to them. You can placate them and assure them that not only are the changes in the best interests of everyone, but will advance them very quickly to a more pleasurable and easy life. The Creator has acknowledged the hard work that has been put in to achieve success, and has promised that from here on you shall enjoy the fruits of your labors. Slowly but surely you shall learn of your true history and your exalted place in the universe. The end times are being watched with admiration by many civilizations that are waiting to meet you and show their love, and give their thanks for your achievements. You have carried out a service that will benefit many souls and speed up their evolution. In time you will fully understand, but at present it would be too much to comprehend all at once. At all times love has been the key word to your success, and universal love is your ultimate goal. Where possible, rest easy now and take everything in your stride, and we know it is easier said than done. Your worries will soon be a thing of the past when you will be able to fully enjoy your life. You may be sure that no intrusion or attempts by others to interfere with your progress will be allowed. As we have mentioned before, the Earth is quarantined but is also being protected by many starships, in such a manner that you are assured of completing your journey quite safely. The end times have already been decreed to be a success, so positive predictions for that period will come to fruition. At the rate which is way off at present, we will be able to safely land on Earth and start the celebrations that are already planned. By then you will be completely free from the attentions of the Dark Ones or indeed any other uninvited visitors. There are great times ahead that will go some way as a thank you for your hard work and great achievements. We know that some of you with children worry about their future, and we wish to assure you that they will be well looked after. Some have incarnated from the higher dimensions especially for the period that is coming up. They are advanced souls that have a lot to offer and will be of immense help when their knowledge is required. Indeed, some are born leaders and their psychic abilities and other qualities will be welcomed. As you move further into the new age, you too will start to develop and claim your special abilities, and as you evolve you will also extend your chakra system. Evolution never stops, and so life progresses to better and better things. For example, some of you are already telepathic, but in time that will become a normal feature for everyone. Think big, as the only thing that can now hold you back is yourself. You help create your future by your thoughts and desires, and by attracting them to yourself. So it is imperative that you do not dwell upon negative thoughts, as this way you can attract the very things you do not want. It will of course become easier as the vibrations rise up, until you reach the stage where you will not encounter negativity. For many souls, duality has honed your character and temperament to the point where you are in complete control. On Earth there has been so many challenges to overcome, that it is not surprising that you have found it difficult to make progress. However, you are never alone and your guides are continually by your side to give help. Call upon them when you need help and you will surely get a response. However, there are times when you need to go through experiences for karmic reasons when they have to stand back. I am Salusa from Sirius, and feel quite close to you, having shared your lives for some time now. I am not of course the only one around you, and at times when you need special help, there are others to call upon. Be assured we are always just a call away and do receive your messages, and where possible, let you have a response to them. When we can uncloak our craft you see them for a brief time, and we know that many of you find that reassuring. We enjoy our service to humanity and get so much joy when we can see how well you are progressing, and especially at this time when you are so near to completing your journey. It is not long now before your travels on Earth will be over and the celebrations can begin, and that is a measure of how much you are respected and admired, for your remarkable achievements over eons of time.
Thank you, Salusa.
All right, very nice message from Salusa, reminding us of the guides that are around us, that all we have to do is talk to them, and they are there to help us. Okay, here's our next passage for the Warrior of the Light. We're on page 110 today. When somebody wants something, the whole universe conspires in their favor. The Warrior of Light knows this. For this reason, he takes great care with his thoughts. Hidden beneath a whole series of good intentions lie feelings that no one dare confess to himself. Vengeance, self-destruction, guilt, fear of winning, a macabre joy of other people's tragedies. The universe does not judge. It conspires in favor of what we want. This is why the warrior has the courage to look into the dark places of his soul in order to ensure that he is not asking for the wrong things, and he is always very careful about what he thinks. Brings us to our meditation for today, so go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. All right, let's just imagine all of our chakras are activated, starting from the bottom of the spine up, red, orange at the belly button. Raise the energy up higher, just to the solar plexus, yellow. Up from there to the heart space, green. From the heart space, we move it on up to the throat, color blue. From the blue throat chakra on up to the third eye, right between the two eyebrows, indigo. And finally, the crown chakra, the top of the head, violet, and the light continues on up into the cosmos. I want you just to imagine as this light fills your body and expands outward, expand your energy field outward. And just fill that energy field with love. Because love is the most important thing that we could share with each other. It's the glue that holds everything together. So just imagine filling this with love and just expanding this out. 5 feet around you, 10 feet around you. all the way around, filling your room, filling the city you're in, the state, and finally, all around the planet, to all the corners of the earth. And just imagine others sharing this light and this love with each other. And let this be enough for now. Just sharing this love, sharing this light. So let the subconscious mind continue on this journey of sharing love, positivity, and let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, whole. Go ahead and take another deep breath. Exhale and open your eyes. And that's it, my friends. That's it. We've made it through another week. Thank you so much for being here. I know that many of you have sent emails and left comments and contacted me in various ways. I've been completely swamped. I haven't had a chance to get back to you, but trust me, I will. And as always, I thank you for sending this information, communicating with me. See if you can find out anything on info on the stuff we talked about today. Send me some emails on your thoughts on that. And before we go, I wanted to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Al Bowman and the Los Angeles Music Awards and congratulate him on 25 years of producing an event. It's difficult to produce one event, but Al Bowman has produced an event in Hollywood for 25 years. And the reason I bring this up is because over the last 13 years, I've been very blessed to have met this organization, and I've gotten a lot of love and support and positivity from them in many ways. The band UFOetry has gotten some accolades, and last night I was very honored to receive this award from them. Josh Poet, Producer Choice Award, Longtime Achievement, First Contact Radio. So I want to thank Al. I want to thank the Los Angeles Music Awards for this opportunity. And I want to thank all of you out there for taking the time to listen to the show, to hear what's going on, and just participate, communicate. It's all good, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love you. Keep loving each other, and I'll talk to you on Monday. Have an awesome weekend. Peace. I'm out of here.